Welcome to Double Drivel, an NBA podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of Double Drivel. We are a weekly podcast offering a fan's perspective on the news and issues surrounding the NBA. Thank you for joining us. My name is Greg, and I am joined as always by my co-host JT. You can find us on Twitter at Double Dribblers or email us at doubledrivelpodcast@gmail.com. JT, what up, my friend?
Happy Patty's Day to you, Greg. Oh,
yes, to you. Yes, to you too, laddie.
You like corned beef?
I wouldn't put that in my mouth if somebody was trying to jam it in there with me, like, strapped down. I would do everything I could to resist. I don't know. I'm not eating something called corned beef. What is it? I don't even know what the fuck it is. And the smell. I mean, maybe it's the cabbage, which I like cabbage in certain forms, but I am not eating anything St. Patrick's Day-ish, like of the corned beef and cabbage variety. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that was a loaded question. I know you don't touch that stuff.
Oh, my God. And you? Do you eat it?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like pot roast, kind of.
I don't like pot roast.
You fuck. Get out of here.
What? No, come on. Why would I like pot roast? What is this, like 1972?
Everyone likes pot roast. It's like...
Everybody. Okay, whatever. All right. Let's get on to the stuff that we both agree on here, that this is going to be a great show today. I always say it at the end, but I'm leading off with that because we were blessed with news that is right down our alley. News that we excel at, and that is an arrest of a former NBA champion. Glen Big Baby Davis having some troubles with the authorities in Aberdeen, Maryland. JT, what happened to Big Baby?
Oh, well, it is a little fall from grace, which is it is right in our wheelhouse, but also a little.
It's our sweet spot. It is.
So Big Baby, the pudgy, just baby face guy that we all love and remember from the 2008 Boston Celtics, arrested, Greg, for possession of marijuana, 126 grams, which is about a quarter pound. But that's not all. $92,000 in cash in a briefcase. This is my favorite part. A ledger that contained, quote, language consistent with someone involved in the sale and distribution of narcotics.
Well, yeah, that'll do it.
Skippy owes me $20, and then Mickey's good for 10 more. So
that's what gets you every time. That's the stuff.
The ledger. Okay, we'll get back to the ledger. So he was in a hotel, Hampton Inn, one of those box hotels. You see them all over. The hotel owner who was working smelled marijuana. Went, knocked on the door. I think it was room 8 he was in. Give him a knock. And Big Baby, at least that's what they're saying, they believe it was Big Baby, yelled, "Fuck off." So the hotel owner, calls the police. Police arrive. One part I don't get, Greg, is that police arrive and then Big Baby signs a consent form to let them search the room. I don't know why he do that.
Bad decisions are made.
So that's the bulk of it. Now let's unpack it. What's up? Why are we selling weed in small denominations out of a hotel room? Why do we have the ledger? The two types of weed, I guess they were labeled, Greg. Sour D and berry were the variety. Now, I don't mean...
Oh, please.
I mean, I live in Northern California. There is an abundance of recreational marijuana. I've crossed paths with some of the names of these varieties before, and they're usually pretty clever and interesting. Sour D and berry are the fucking bench players of weed names, Greg, and that kind of makes this story a little bit more sad in my humble opinion.
I think it adds to the fall from grace, But a guy who names himself Big Baby, are you expecting great names for things?
Just selling boring ass name weed. But apparently he's doing okay with it because $92K is a lot of cash.
Yeah, that's not bad. And
So-
the only thing that concerns me is he added the hotel. So like he said that he was there for visiting his family or some sort of family members, and that's why he was there. But I'm sure that'll all come out in the wash. I just am surprised that that a guy with, he must have a little bit of money, is possibly living out of a hotel room, or hotel rooms going around and selling weed. I would just maybe expect a little more. He's only out of the league. When did he play? Was it 2 years ago?
He won a championship 8 years ago.
Yes,
I know for a fact he played in 2010. I don't know the last year he played. Let's say he's been out of the league 3 years, 4 years. And in the article that I read leading into this, his total earnings in the NBA was somewhere north of $30 million, which isn't a ton for an NBA player, but it's $30 million.
No, it says right here his salary in 2012 was $6.4 million.
2012.
That's
so you made 6.4 mil in 2012, 4 years ago. Bro. Come on.
Yeah, you gotta. All right, so he played, up to 2015. So
3 years ago.
God.
And Greg, I gotta say, the most disappointing part of this for me, and the real crime that was committed, was the shirt my man was wearing in the mugshot. And
not a good shirt. You're completely right.
Red and black horizontal striped polo shirt with a fucking not bright, but like a forest green, rich green collar. Just a fashion crime, this shirt. Terrible. Worse than the crime committed. Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. The shirt surprised me, and the mugshot, and how just shot he looked.
He looked shot. He looked pretty messed up, yeah.
Yes, he looked very messed up. So it's sad. I don't want it to happen to Big Baby Davis, but if it happens, JT, we're going to talk about it, aren't we?
Every time. Every single time.
All right. Well, we have another thing that is very close to your heart, and that is the Utah Jazz. And I always make jokes because we end up talking about the Jazz very, very often on this show. But this is a great reason, because there were some, them weren't really fisticuffs this week, but there was definitely a battle going on, and it was completely the Phoenix Suns' fault, because they were playing like a bunch of, I don't know if there's a better word than scumbags, the way that they reacted. So set the tone for us, JT. What happened?
We're playing in Salt Lake City. The Suns, at this point in the game, are just getting torched. Also, the Suns are tanking and not really trying to win. With that, Marquise Chris of the Phoenix Suns, fast break opportunity, dribbling down the court. He's right around 10 feet away from the basket, picks up the ball, starts to gather it for a dunk, bobbles it, trips himself, falls. Okay? In his mind, he thought he was fouled, which he absolutely was not fouled.
And I actually looked back at the video at that point, because I'm like, oh my God, they had to have fouled him. The way that he fumbled the ball, like you said, and lost it, he almost had to have been fouled. But no.
No, there was no. It was all him, because he's a shit. Then, so while he's on the ground, the Jazz, I think the ball goes out of bounds, so the Jazz have to, inbound it. Ricky Rubio has to partially step over Marquise Chris, who's still kind of like getting his shit back together. And I think Marquise Chris was offended by that, thinking, oh, I got fouled and now this punk is stepping over me. So in an attempt to stop the clock to get the team back together, Jared Dudley of the Phoenix Suns intentionally fouls Ricky Rubio with a shove. Now, the shove, I think, came through a little harder than Jared Dudley anticipated, and it sent Ricky Rubio to the ground. Boom, hits the ground. Pops right back up. He's not in Jared Dudley's face, but he just kind of, he makes eye contact just to let him know, I'm not a punk. That's not okay. Then Marquise Chris gets up off the ground, runs right over to Ricky Rubio, and gives him a pretty stern shove to the ground, Greg. So Ricky Rubio's been thrown to the ground twice in less than a minute. Pretty much bench clear on both sides. Marquise Chris was ejected. Jared Dudley was ejected. The only one who possibly could have been ejected from the Jazz was Joe Ingles, who came in there like a fucking crazed man ready to just drop fools. But he wasn't ejected because he didn't do anything wrong. The Phoenix Suns did everything wrong. They're a lazy sack of shit bunch of douchebag players. And leading up to this, Greg, I was like, man, I wonder if Marquise Chris had any history with bad behavior. Because there usually is a pattern here.
Yeah.
Turns out, last month, and this totally paints a picture of this guy for you, this fuck. The Phoenix Suns have a rule in place, a team rule, that if you don't play 20 minutes during a game, then after the game is over, you have to make up those minutes in the exercise room. Okay, so if you play 10 minutes, after the game's over, you got to put 10 minutes in the back.
Yeah, that's great.
Keeps your lazy fucking fat ass in shape, at least. Gives the team some assurance that you're not just eating Cheetos all day. So last month, Marquise Chris, he plays 14 minutes in the game. After the game is over, go to the back. Weight room guy's like, all right, let's do this. We got to exercise for 6 minutes. And he won't do it. He starts icing himself down. And then the weight manager, he like tells whoever his boss is, and that's a violation of the team rule, and they suspend him for a game. Because you're a lazy, complacent sack of shit. And you can't even exercise for 6 minutes for millions of dollars that you make playing basketball. You're that sensitive. You're that much of a bitch, Marquise Chris.
Did they make him do the 20 minutes of practice after the game that he was suspended? Because that would have been even better. Because he didn't play, you know? He's got to get that 20 minutes in.
That's a good point. I don't know how that works exactly. I just snatched that one excerpt from the article I was reading.
All right, so listen. I want to address a couple things. Please, finish out, and then I got some things I want to touch on.
There's one guy in the Utah Jazz you're not going to fuck with, and that's sloppy Joe Ingles, okay? My man is Australian. My man is not screwing around with you fucks. And I'm going to speculate here. I bet you Joe Ingles has 200 or more rounds under his belt of full contact, bare knuckle sparring. You're not going to fuck with this guy. He's going to fuck you up. You want to dance? Let's dance. You fucking dance with Joe Ingles.
That's sloppy Joe style. He comes moving in. He came right in. He wanted all of everything that was going on in there. But the Jazz, everybody behaved themselves. Everybody did exactly what they should have done. So, and that's what you want to see, though. You want to see your guys getting in there, defending people. You had Donovan Mitchell going in there. You had the leaders of your team stepped up and acted as such when the people were pushed over. And when I say people, I mean Ricky Rubio repeatedly pushed over. And that's one thing. That second push, you have a phrase that I like, and it's that push had bad intentions, that second one. And I think that's completely unacceptable. And for the coach after the game, the coach of the Suns, Jay Triano, who I didn't even really know existed until I saw him in this postgame, took no responsibility for it. He said, maybe one of his players should have been thrown out, but to not think that both of them should have been thrown out for their behavior is ridiculous. They absolutely should have been. And Ricky Rubio is a guy that never causes any problems, never looks for any problems, and if you're having an issue with him, it's because you're looking for a problem. So it's just bullshit.
You're trying to start shit with the smallest guy on the court. Start some shit with the center. Try to push Derek Favors around. Yeah, and as you said, Coach Triano, you're part of the problem. If you think that your guys were not in the wrong at all, wow, that is sad. Sad.
Especially if they are tanking, that means they are trying to lose now to be better later. Are you instilling any sort of work ethic or any sort of good behavior in these guys, letting them behave like this? No. If you're tanking, you should be even harder on these guys, because when you are better next year, you're going to need the best out of everybody. And if this is how they think they can act, then nobody's going to play well. And it's just, there's no point in doing any of it.
And last thing, Ricky Rubio suffered a knee contusion from the fall. He is listed as questionable for tonight's game. We are chasing a playoff spot. You fucking scumbags. How dare you injure a player because your shit organization has no chance and you can't deal with that. I mean, and you're going to set us back now? Fucks. It's fucking wrong.
Yep. It's a shitty place to be. And do you think the refs acted appropriately? Did they kick the right amount of people out and handle things and the right calls? And how did they handle it?
In this instance, I think they did. They did. The two Suns players were ejected. No Jazz players were ejected. I think that's the right call amidst a period where we're seeing a lot of calls from the refs that are not as cut and dry.
No. And, well, this rolls right into our next story. The league and the refs were beefing a little bit on Twitter yesterday, at least the refs' Twitter account. Who would run that account? That's who I was wondering.
That's a good
Do they
point.
have who had the balls to make some of those statements with such authority? That's what I didn't understand. So they were going back and forth with people, but then the NBA stepped in, and the contentious point is the last 2 minutes, which is something the NBA started doing. Was it last year?
Yeah,
it wasn't that. It hasn't been that long. But the last 2 minutes, the NBA looks back at each game, and they look at it almost with a microscope, and they say what calls were missed, what calls shouldn't have been called, that were, and all sorts of things like that. They analyze the last 2 minutes of the game just to. I don't even know why they do it, to be honest with you. I feel like it just causes more bullshit than it's worth. If they want to do this on their own and not release the results, that's one thing. But the fact that they do release the results, it is kind of a shit starter with the refs, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, the last 2 minute report, it's like, it just triggers people because they identify, pardon me, they identify all the things that went wrong, but they don't do anything about it. So you could be at the losing end of a game because of several shitty calls. The game ends, and the next day the league tells you, yeah, we missed all these calls. And it's like, well, fuck me. What are we going to do about it? Nothing. So, yeah, the last 2 minute report has been a hot topic. And then the fact that the league and the refs are publicly fighting about this on Twitter doesn't sit well with me, Greg. And I know it doesn't sit well with you because it's not what we're here for. Like, you guys are here to run this shit, and we're here to watch it. So you need to straighten this out. And we don't want to be your court of public opinion. We know that tactic. We don't care. Figure it out.
Yeah, and the other funny thing is that people are using all 280 characters of Twitter now all of a sudden without even any regard. I mean, they're putting out full statements, both sides here, in one just tweet. And it's amazing that they would just go back and forth, like you said, publicly, which I don't want to see. And I think if you're releasing it for every game, you're starting shit every night for so many things. I think it just gets lost. It just becomes just all shitting on the refs. I mean, how can you have... If every team's playing 82 games and there's 30 teams, that's so many games that all you're going to hear is all the things that the refs did wrong. And they just tune it out at a certain point, and then all they think that they're just doing shitty, and they've been shitty this year. So there's something, I mean, they're not into it anymore. They're not feeling it. They're reacting to the players differently. They're reacting, apparently on Twitter too, just not like they ever have. The refs aren't having it, and that's not going to be good for basketball. It doesn't make it fun to watch when there's a lot of calls or when the refs get over-involved. It just makes it not fun.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't want any more ref on league action. Get it together, guys. Have your meeting or pay them more money and tell them to shut up. How about that? How about the refs? We're going to do anything we want to you. Here's a little more money. Shut up. Because that usually solves it, too. And Lord knows the NBA has the money to pay people.
If anyone knows, it's Lord.
All right. Now, we're going to a story that neither one of us like or care about or enjoy in any sort of way. So I don't want to spend too much time on it.
2 minutes tops.
All right. Start the clock. Steph Curry's birthday party, like 30. They didn't call it the Dirty 30, did they?
Don't know.
Is that like okay? Dude, thank God. Steph Curry's 30th birthday party, and I mean, come on, what are we doing here? How old is everybody? Do we need all this? Does somebody need this for their birthday at 30? When you got everything that man has, you need this lame ass mariachi band and taco truck birthday party that we all get to watch and be a part of.
Greg. The mariachi band and taco truck was from my 30th birthday party. Can't you read? Can't you fucking read here, Greg?
I couldn't imagine that was actually your 30th birthday party. I had completely forgotten because I did not attend. But
hand off the reins. You're unsuited to carry this story.
Oh my God! You really had a mariachi band and a taco truck at your 30th birthday party?
And more, yes.
Wow. Okay, well, there you go. So I'm shitting on people with 30th birthday parties and shit. Like, come on, grow up. You too. All right, take the story.
Steph Curry had a 30th birthday party. Steph Curry is a mega millionaire. His birthday party looked pretty fucking lame to me, okay? Aside from the fact that you pull up on a yacht, took place in San Francisco, you pull up on a yacht, that's cool. Live performance from E40, Bay Area.
Who is that?
Legendary Bay Area rapper, Greg. Legendary. Very popular around here. So he performed live. The venue to me looked like an out of business like strip club or like steakhouse.
Yeah, what's with the stage?
It looked pretty shitty to me. It looked like the Cadillac Ranch Steakhouse where I worked as a teenager in upstate New York.
R.I.P. Cadillac Ranch.
So E40's performing. You're playing. You're sitting on the stage eating ribs. Okay, if that's how you like it on your birthday. Dancing around with a bunch of dudes in a dimly lit, shitty like high school prop stage. Is this how like the uber rich get down? I'm good.
I think the former strip club setting is right. That's like it. You know, just shitty lighting, stage.
It looked like a pretty shitty party to me. I don't know. They all
go
got
to San
drunk.
Francisco to eat ribs. I mean, the other thing, like, come on.
His wife has that restaurant, remember? And it's called Smoke. I bet you the ribs might have come from there, but I don't know. I don't fucking care. This looked like a pretty whack party to me. They all got drunk. They canceled practice the following day for the entire team. Coaches too. Coaches were at the party also. Not how you win championships. I'm just saying. I'm not an NBA champion, but canceling practice ain't going to get you that ring. I just leave it there, and I'm done.
Getting Steve Kerr all turnt.
They were all dancing. They were not good dancers either, but it's all good.
No, they have no business dancing.
What is this, Footloose? No dance allowed in this town?
Get it together.
Yeah, I think we're both good on the birthday party.
Yeah, we wasted too much time on that, but I don't even want to say happy birthday. I want to see them lose. I want to see them lose to a team they shouldn't lose to in the finals. No, I'm sorry, not the finals. Don't even let them get that far. Let them lose early in the playoffs.
First round to the Jazz.
Yeah, there you go. All right, it's that time. Flashback. All right. Today's NBA flashback, we're going down to, it says 2010. That's not right.
Not that long ago.
I can't believe that. Time flies. Well, anyway, the NBA flashback for today is March 17th, 2010, where Michael Jeffrey Jordan was approved to be the majority owner of the Charlotte Bobcats, which was a dark time in my team's history. I never liked the name the Bobcats. I never liked the logo. I never liked the colors. And then when, I was happy when they went back to the Hornets and went back to Charlotte and everything went back to normal. That makes me happy. But otherwise, Michael Jordan, I don't think he's been the greatest owner. And I don't think I'm the only person who thinks that. we're getting a new GM next year, which is very exciting because we need to change some things up. The way that we've been drafting people and the trades we've been making in free agency are just not great moves. I think Dwight Howard was a pleasant surprise this year. He's played better than I think I would have expected, but still not enough to win or matter. So, Michael Jordan, not the Michael Jordan of owners. That's what I'd say of Mr. Jordan.
There you go. 8 years of okay ownership.
Yep, there you go. And that's today's NBA Flashback. And here's a little bit of exciting news. I'm only going to take a second. A new addition to the Utah Jazz. Who's that, JT?
Be still, my cold heart, Greg. David Stockton, son of John Stockton, sign of the cross, signed a 10-day contract with the Utah Jazz. My heart is full.
That's good. You know, I'd like to see that. Keep it in the family.
No pressure, no expectations. We take these things one step at a time. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. And good for Utah. Good for Stockton. Raising a good player. You know, it's tough for Lightning to strike twice. So for somebody to have their kid end up in the NBA, it's always kind of amazing to me.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's do some predictions. All right, JT. This is going to be a good one. Big Baby Davis. Gonna do big time.
Oh, man. This one, a little tough to say. And we took a look at a fairly recent case that was somewhat similar. Our boy Zebo, Zach Randolph, Greg, had a little trouble with the law last year, remember?
I do.
So Zebo got arrested, also a marijuana-related offense. He had 2 pounds on him, which is...
Yeah, but in California. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's considerably more than the 1/4 pound that Big Baby had. Zebo also got hit with resisting arrest, which is never a good thing.
No.
So that was last year, and he went through the process. He got 150 hours of community service.
Wow. Big Baby let them in, gave them the ledger, did all the detective work for them as soon as they smelled marijuana, and I think my man's going away for a little bit. Or maybe not going away, could be just a fine. Who knows? But I don't think he's getting off as easy as Zebo did. My God.
I'm gonna call 2 months of jail time and 100+ hours community service.
There you
What do you
go.
got?
Probation?
And probation, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna go similar to that. I'm gonna say something. I'll say 3 months in jail and 2 years probation, just because of the amount of selling. I mean, if he had the whole ledger and everything, they're gonna be able to throw the book at him if they want to.
I kind of feel like you just you kind of Price is Righted me out of my prediction. Like you. Just,
I did.
I
went $1 over. But you didn't have anything about the probation in there, so it was an incomplete guess.
All right.
So that's it. Fine. He's going to be in there 2 months and 1 day. Yeah. So, but I mean, it's not going to be. We're not talking like a year here. I mean, at most it'd be 6 months, and I would think at the least it would be nothing. But I don't think it's going to be the least.
Big Baby going to be the fucking Maryland County Prison basketball championship MVP and coach, first player to do it from both sides, and you'll hear about that story right here when it takes place.
Absolutely. All right, JT, another great episode.
Great episode, Greg. Enjoy that corned beef today.
Oh yeah, you know me. All right, we're going to be back next week with another episode. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at Double Dribblers, or you can email us at doubledrivelpodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the show on iTunes, Podbean, or Google Play. And until next week, we'll see you on the internet.